Hey, if you've got a big RV like this, especially a bumper pull, or maybe you got a smaller one, you might have the same issue. You probably hate how much the RV bounces when you walk out or when you're walking through the middle of it. Ours feels like a trampoline, even with all the stabilizers, but I've got a cure for it. Hey, I'm going to tell you about that right after this. Okay, my wife and I have been in this 38-foot Grand Design RV for about 2 months now, and we've got it set up out here on really firm ground. We've got all the stabilizers out, we've got X-braces in the wheels, we've got chocks. We've got about everything we can to stabilize it normally. But when we walk through it, I think partly because it's so long and they're built with so much aluminum, it's like a trampoline for the person that's not moving. So when one of us is sitting down there trying to look at our phone or read or whatever, and the other one's walking, it's just like, and if you've experienced that, I'm sure you find it annoying. Sure, you can get used to it, but there's a pretty simple solution. I've done it once, but I kind of undid it to travel, and we're gonna redo it, and I'm gonna show you how effective it is. So first, let me show you a little sample here. This is what water in this Tupperware container looks like when it's not stabilized. Now, I had my wife walk from one end to the other, and I had her walk a little bit heavier than normal so that it would show up better. We're gonna stabilize it. We're gonna have her walk exactly the same way and see what the difference is. You'll mostly feel it literally in the seat of the pants. This whole process is gonna cost you like $7 or $8, $10 maybe. It's under $20 easily, except for you're gonna need a couple ratchet straps. If you don't have those, you might have to buy some of those. So here's the secret, a 2x4. You know, what do we do with it? Well, this may sound like it wouldn't help because you got stabilizers, right? There, we can see ours down over there. You've got the multiple kinds, but if it's still bouncing, trust me, this makes a huge difference. Now, I have kind of permanent vertigo due to a virus that damaged my inner ear nerves endings and did 40% damage, so I'm still not as rock solid as I used to be when I was walking. So I stumble a little bit, and I can feel it in there. My wife's had 3 knee replacements, so she has an issue too. So here's the first thing you want to do. What you're going to do is use these to go up under the frame of your RV and create an angled brace. You're going to do 2 on the back, 2 on the front. Then you're going to pull them together with a ratchet strap, and that ratchet strap is going to pick up on the frame a little bit, kind of wedge it into the dirt, and really locks it down better. So let me show you what I mean. Okay, so you want to go around and measure the length that you need for these braces. Now, I would measure at the back and at the front because, as you know, a lot of times the ground isn't even. So I would make 2 different lengths, and in my case, I've marked them, the long ones, and then the 2 below will be the short ones. Now, what you want to do is measure up to inside of your frame. You want the metal, solid metal C-channel of your frame like you can see in this picture here, and you want to measure it down to about a not quite a 45. 45 would be like this. I found I get a little more bracing by getting them to stand up a little more. So measure down like that and get your front and your back, and in my case I'm going to leave one of them at I've got these cut at 46 inches. I had to cut them at the lumber yard to get them in my truck because I knew I was going to be hauling them for several hundred miles from Phoenix over here. So these top 2, I'm going to leave at the 46. These bottom 2, I'm going to cut them at 42. And so then we're just going to mark these out. Now, here's a little trick. You might not be able to do it. I've done it many times. I don't have to go get a square, and these don't have to be exact, so I'm going to remark them too long here, but you basically just hold your tape measure at the length you want, and just gently slide it across here, and you can get a pretty straight line that way. Now let's just make sure I don't cut the wrong ones. So you want to cut 2 short ones and 2 long ones, and then we're going to come back and install the eye bolts, and I'll show you how to finish this up. I'm actually out here in Quartzsite, Arizona, but I brought my tools with me because I've always got something going on, and I'm shooting video for you guys. So we'll just cut it with a jigsaw here. Okay, now that we've got these cut, you want to drill some holes for these eye bolts. You want to get some pretty heavy-duty eye bolts that are going to go well through. It's going to have plenty of length to go through the lumber at an angle, and of course strong enough to withstand the pulling on it. And you want to drill at a little bit of an angle, because you got to imagine it's going to be leaning like that, but you want it to go straight through. Doesn't have to be exact, but just get something close. It doesn't even have to be exactly 6 inches up. You just don't want it too low where it might be interfering, the ground might be interfering, and the higher you go, the less leverage you got. You're going to be angling this 2x, so you don't want these angling down. So let's reverse that and show you. So make sure you get the bolt through from the right side. This is the wrong side because we want this angled like this. We want to pull from over here, not over there. Now you can see with it angled, we'll be pulling straight. So we'll put our nuts on here. Okay, now that I've got the eye bolts installed, you want to put it up under your frame. Now make sure you're not pinching any wiring or anything that you could damage. I found that right here allows me to see up under there easier and get it right into that top part, like I'm going to show you in this picture here, so that you're pushing against very solid metal. Then next we just want to run our ratchet strap from that side to this side, tighten it up, and we're good to go. Hey, I'm going to show you some cool ratchet straps. These are by Strapino. I did a sponsored video on my other channel. This one is not sponsored. I just think they're cool. These are self-retracting. Notice there's no loose ends. This just self-retracts, and so far they've worked great. Okay, we got them installed. We're gonna go inside and see how much difference it made. But here's what it looks like underneath. Okay, hey everybody, we came in, we tried to do that water test. Honestly, on camera, you could barely tell the difference. So let me just give you a real world perspective of what we feel. Both my wife and I agree. Whenever we have those stabilizers in there, I'll call it, with the ratchet straps, you can tell a definite difference. Now, does it eliminate all the bounce? No, it's an RV. I don't think it ever will. Maybe if you have a really nice Class A, but you can tell a big difference. It feels like a trampoline in here. If you're sitting and trying to look at your phone and the other person's walking through the RV, it's literally doing this. When we put these stabilizers in, it's more like just a little jiggle. So you can feel it, but it's really hard to see in that water. I tried. But anyway, hope that helps you out. Try it. You'll really like the difference, especially if you got a big RV. Oh, and if you haven't subscribed yet, I've got another channel with 240,000 subscribers where I teach home improvement like drywall and that, called That Kilted Guy DIY. This channel, That Kilted Guy Behind the Kilt, is our RV and adventures. I'm going to tell you a lot about tips and tricks I figured out on RVs, as well as share some of our adventures, our crazy stuff. Like, did you know we took this thing mud bogging? Well, sort of. Oh, and hey, here's some other videos you might enjoy. Thanks a lot, everybody. I'll see you on the next video.